Work remotely on your own schedule, helping train AI systems. Take on projects like rating AI responses, checking grammar, reviewing content. Get paid for your input. That's the pitch from Outlier AI, a platform claiming they've already paid out over $100 million to freelancers worldwide. They position themselves as connecting you with the future of AI, evaluating AI-generated content, making sure answers make sense, checking if responses match client criteria. The work is supposed to be flexible, interesting, and pay $25 to $40 per hour. Sounds straightforward. Sign up, pass some assessments showing you understand quality standards, pick up projects, get paid weekly through PayPal or bank transfer. But here's what the lawsuits reveal. Outlier AI is owned by Scale AI, a $13.8 billion company now facing multiple class action lawsuits alleging they misclassify workers as independent contractors to avoid paying overtime, force hours of unpaid training, expose workers to traumatic content causing PTSD without mental health support, and monitor every keystroke while workers review disturbing material about self-harm, violence, and child abuse. One Trustpilot reviewer writes, "They mass hired at least 50K people in November, and by December 30th, they were all removed." Begging the question, what were they really after? An Indeed reviewer states, "This place is definitely either a scam or the most disorganized company in the universe. They collect a lot of personal information, assign test tasks, and then literally disappear." And Better Business Bureau complaints reveal, "Outlier refused to delete my sensitive personal data including passport and biometric facial selfies. Claimed deletion will happen eventually without a timeline. Admitted data would remain for cross-checking without consent." So, is Outlier AI a legitimate platform offering flexible remote work, or is it a $13.8 billion company built on systematically exploiting workers who spend hours on unpaid training, face sudden account shutdowns, and get exposed to traumatic content that causes psychological damage? Hi, I'm Hunter. I've been making money online for over 5 years now with a variety of different methods. Online income allows extensive freedom and opportunity. For me, that's been the ability to fulfill my dream of traveling and living around the world. And on this channel, I review the most popular online business models right now and the courses that teach them to help you realize whatever your dream is too. Today we're breaking down Outlier AI. Quick disclaimer, I'm not an affiliate of Outlier AI. I'm not going to get paid for this review at all. I'm just giving my own honest opinion based on my own research, user complaints, and publicly filed class action lawsuits. Although some freelancers report getting paid, my favorite online income opportunity is digital leasing, which you can learn more about by clicking the link in the description below. Drop a comment right now if you've seen Outlier AI ads promising remote AI work, considered platforms like this for side income, or dealt with sudden account deactivations on freelance platforms before. I read every comment and want to hear your experiences. By the end of this video, you know exactly what Outlier AI delivers, the multiple class action lawsuits alleging systematic wage theft and worker exploitation, why you don't own anything and income stops the second projects dry up, and why building own digital assets beats trading time on platforms that can shut you down without warning anytime. So first things first, what is Outlier AI? It's essentially a rebrand of another platform called Rainbow Tasks. The company connects freelancers with projects helping train AI systems for major tech companies. The work usually involves evaluating AI-generated content, checking grammar, making sure answers make sense, seeing if responses match criteria set by the client. Outlier is owned by Scale AI, a San Francisco-based company valued at $13.8 billion. Scale AI's marketing materials advertise they work with some of the biggest players in AI, including Microsoft, Meta, Google, and NVIDIA. The company hires people to help fine-tune these companies' generative AI models, the version of AI that can mimic human speech, writing, or images. The process works like this. After you sign up, there's extensive onboarding and training. You're given assessments to prove you understand project rules and quality standards. The training shows you how to review AI outputs, what errors to look for, how to give feedback the way clients want. Some projects are niche, like math or chemistry. Others are general, like reviewing simple writing tasks. Once you pass training, you can pick up projects. Pay is advertised as $25 to $40 hourly, paid through PayPal, AirTM, or bank transfer. The flexibility does sound appealing. Work from home, set your own hours, contribute to AI development while making side income. On their website, Outlier positions this as being part of the future of AI and claims to have already paid out over $100 million to freelancers globally. They emphasize that they hire experts in particular fields to train AI models on relevant queries. But here's where serious red flags emerge. Trustpilot shows a 4.1 star rating with 30,719 reviews currently. But when you dig into the complaints, a disturbing pattern emerges. Common issues reported: accounts shut down suddenly without warning or explanation. One user wrote, "Was hired, did some tasks, I had a good average, and was then removed with a few other 1,000 people with no warning and no explanation." Another, They mass hired at least 50K people in November, and by December 30th, they were all removed. Begging the question, what were they really after? Recording a video of you? A shady, suspicious nightmare. Long unpaid onboarding and training, workers spending hours completing assessments, watching training videos, familiarizing themselves with project guidelines, attending webinars, all without any compensation. Tasks disappearing without warning. Some freelancers report steady work initially, then logging in to find nothing available for weeks or months. One reviewer wrote, "There isn't enough work to go around. Projects get canceled, or you just get removed without notice and end up not working for months. Missing paychecks and payment delays. Despite the weekly payment promise, users report being paid only a fraction of hours that they actually worked, having to open support tickets to go unanswered, and never receiving compensation for the training time. Support being impossible to reach." One user wrote, "Support won't do anything for pay tickets, and tell you they won't pay you. Tasks taking way longer than promised with lower actual pay. The $25 to $4 per hour advertised rate doesn't account for unpaid training, task rejections, or time spent dealing with unclear feedback." Indeed reviews are even harsher. One worker writes, "This place is definitely either a scam or the most disorganized company in the universe. There's no interview, they collect a lot of personal information about you, assign test tasks, and then literally disappear." Another states, "They will trick you into thinking this is a legitimate job, not pay you for weeks, and when they do, it'll only be a fraction of your hours." Better Business Bureau complaints reveal serious data privacy violations as well. One user complained, "I submitted sensitive documents including my passport and facial selfie. Registration failed, but Outlier refused to delete my data. Claim deletion will happen eventually without providing a timeline. Admitted some data would remain in the system for cross-checking without my consent." There's also a number of Reddit users reporting fake Outlier staff reaching out asking for personal banking info, PayPal kickbacks, or remote access to their computers. But the problems go far deeper than individual complaints. Scale AI, Outlier's parent company, is now facing multiple class action lawsuits filed in late 2024 to early 2025, alleging systematic wage theft and worker exploitation. The first lawsuit, filed December 2024 in San Francisco Superior Court by Clarkson Law Firm, alleges Scale AI misclassifies workers as independent contractors rather than employees to circumvent California labor laws. This allows them to avoid paying overtime, providing paid breaks, reimbursing business expenses like internet and electricity, offering sick days or health benefits. Workers are forced to complete hours of unpaid training. The law states, Scale AI does not compensate for any time spent training for each project, which often had differing rules and regulations. The company expected taskers to familiarize themselves with the requirements by reviewing guidelines, attending training webinars, and directing questions to Slack channels, all without compensation. Workers who actually complete paid tasks often work 10 hours, but get compensated for only 5 because training time isn't included. Outlier recruited workers by promising 25 to 40 an hour, but actual effective pay after accounting for unpaid hours falls far below minimum wage. The lawsuit estimates 10 to 20,000 workers in California alone were misclassified, with damages totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. Attorney Glenn Dennis stated, Scale AI has built its business on a model of exploitation, relying on thousands of workers from across the globe to be paid then less than a living wage to train AI applications for hours on end. These workers operate under strict company control and are being cheated out of labor code protection laws. The second lawsuit, filed January 2025, adds another disturbing dimension. Scale AI through Outlier AI allegedly exposed workers to traumatic content, causing severe psychological damage without proper safeguards or mental health support. The lawsuit describes a project called Flamingo Safety Project for Meta, where workers had to train AI models on how to respond to prompts about self-harm, suicide, violence, child abuse, murders, fatal car accidents, and other graphic content. Workers are forced to engage with disturbing prompts like man setting animal on fire and view images that appear to depict real-life traumatic events including rapes, assault on children, and fatal accidents. The complaint states, as a result of constant and unmitigated exposure to highly toxic and extremely disturbing prompts and images, plaintiffs develop significant psychological distress, including depression, anxiety, nightmares, problems functioning in work and relationships. Those who viewed images of traumatic events developed PTSD, alleges the complaint. Workers were allegedly misled about the job's nature during hiring, given no proper mental health support, and retaliated against when they sought counseling. The lawsuit notes, defendants filed to provide proper guardrails to protect them from workplace conditions known to cause and exacerbate psychological harm. A third dimension, Scale AI allegedly monitored workers' every keystroke, browser history, and mouse movements through surveillance software while they reviewed this traumatic content. These aren't isolated complaints. Scale AI has faced multiple lawsuits within weeks of each other, all alleging similar patterns of employee exploitation. Beyond the lawsuits, Outlier AI's terms of service reveal how little protection workers actually have. The company can withhold or delay payment if they investigate violations, with no clear definition of what constitutes a violation. They can suspend or terminate your account at any time without notice or explanation. You don't retain rights to your work. Anything you create, including evaluations, code, ideas, or content, is automatically assigned to Outlier. Even if not assignable, you grant them a perpetual, irrevocable worldwide license. You agree to cover Outlier's legal costs if your work causes any claims, putting legal and financial risk on you even though you don't control the system. All disputes must go through binding arbitration. You waive the right to join class action lawsuits or sue in court. Payment is only for completed tasks after verification. There's no clear appeals process if they decide not to pay you. The fundamental problem: you don't own anything when you work with Outlier. You're trading time for tasks that can disappear without warning. If tasks run out or the company decides to stop paying you, you're left with nothing. Even if you make a couple $100s 1 week, that income stops the second projects dry up or your account gets shut down. It's not scalable. You're not building assets. You're not stacking something that grows. You're renting out your time to a $13.8 billion company facing multiple lawsuits for systematically underpaying workers while monitoring their every keystroke. Here's where there's a fundamentally better approach in my opinion. Instead of spending hours on platforms where your account can vanish overnight and you own nothing, you should build digital assets, generate predictable income you can control 100%. Every local business desperately needs qualified customers. Contractors, plumbers, roofers, HVAC companies, medical offices, real estate agents, they all face the same challenge. Not enough leads coming ready to buy. With digital leasing, you build simple local service business websites to rank on Google for high intent keywords. When homeowners search for these services, your site can appear at the top of Google. If you're at the top of Google, they're going to call you and you can rent those calls or form fills out to a real local business for $500 to $3,000 per month per website. The core difference here, you own the website 100%. No company can shut down your account. No sudden deactivation. No unpaid training hours. The asset is yours, generating value as long as it keeps ranking. Your income is predictable and doesn't disappear quickly without warning. Once the site ranks and generates calls, that income can continue month after month as long as you keep providing those leads to the business. You're not logging in hoping projects are available. You're not dealing with inconsistent work where with some weeks you have tasks and others you have nothing. You can keep working on your business anytime. You can keep building more of these assets and you can continue to provide value to your clients. Capital requirements are minimal. Building one of these sites typically only costs around a few $100s, and once you rank it, you can earn $500 to $3,000 per month. The ongoing costs are also minimal, typically only costing around $30 or so per month. You're not spending hours on unpaid training, just hoping maybe some tasks get paid later. It can be generally passive once the site ranks and you partner with the local business owner. The sales conversation is also exponentially easier than other online business models because you generate leads in advance. So you can show established businesses you can solve their problem of getting customers by providing them a few of these leads for free up front and then converting them to a pay per month or pay per lead on a commission deal. So profit margins with local lead generation can typically be anywhere around 80 to 95% because after you build the asset, you can often remain ranking at the top of Google long term with minimal ongoing spend. Each asset you build adds to your total monthly income. With platforms like Outlier, you start from zero every week hoping tasks are available. If one of these contractors stops paying you, you can just rent those leads to their competitor. The asset stays yours. With Outlier, when your account gets shut down, which happens suddenly to thousands, you're all done. All those hours of unpaid training and completed tasks mean nothing. Let me be direct. Outlier AI has critical problems that go beyond typical freelance platform issues. The company is owned by Scale AI, a $13.8 billion company now facing multiple class action lawsuits alleging systematic misclassification of 10 to 20,000 plus workers, avoiding paying overtime and benefits, forcing hours of unpaid training while advertising 25 to 40 an hour, workers completing 10 hours but only getting paid for 5, exposing workers to traumatic content causing PTSD without mental health support, monitoring every keystroke and browser activity, damages potentially totaling hundreds of millions. User complaints are consistent. Account shutdowns suddenly without warning or explanation. For the same time investment as Outlier, I think you're better off building own digital assets, generating leads for service businesses. You're solving a permanent need with true ownership, predictable income that doesn't disappear without warning, no sudden account shutdowns, no monitoring your keystrokes, and you have genuine control over assets that pay you monthly for years to come. If you want to learn more about local SEO lead generation and digital leasing, check out the link in the description below. If you found this review helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more honest reviews of online business courses. Drop a comment if you've dealt with Outlier AI already or similar platforms with sudden account deactivations. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.